arrival at Eta Crucis 7, constructing the orbit and terminating the fusion core reactions.
Incoming message.
Constructing an orbit at this location. Some outward velocity will be needed to finalize the orbit. I have no idea what he just said. All right, let's get the orbit set, then we'll take a look at what we've got in front of us. I want to pay attention to it, but I can't do that right now. And that's it. We've reached 167 megameters in altitude, circular orbit around Eta Crucis 7. We've used the HUD to construct a circular orbit at 09 or 0. The next thing we need to do is determine if an inclination adjustment is necessary to avoid the rings. It appears that the answer to that is no, because that is not currently on our APSID line. In fact, it is exactly the opposite, almost as if that was how it was intended. So we will leave that alone. It is not needed. So at this point, we declare that we've been delivered into the appropriate orbit at 167 megameters circular orbit by the extraterrestrial vehicle. We sign our papers, and they cut us loose. And so now the screens are going to go nuts because they can't figure out where we are. So while we're here, we want to get the comm nav set up. So that we can keep an eye on our location relative to the ship. The extraterrestrial ship, that is.
Translation.
Okay, so we need to translate down. Make sure, yes, our distance is increasing. So, okay, we're safe. Now we lower the orbit to 2,000 kilometers. So let's switch this other one to orbit. We'll do HUD, and let's figure out where our retrograde direction is. Turning retrograde autopilot on. Wow, that's terrifying. What a big craft. Okay. Alright, so we need to burn this direction, and that's really, really bad if we do that right now, because you do not want to be staring down an extraterrestrial vessel. In fact, they're probably wondering what the heck we're doing. So let's sidestep before we create an incident.
Rotation. Translation.
Get out of their way.
Rotation.
Okay. So let's see. This region, I'm going to call this region high 7 orbit. Because we're in high orbit, and I'm going to set up our first maneuver here. That is the arrival transfer burn. That puts us in a 2,000 kilometer lowered orbit. All right, while we're waiting for the ships to move apart, let's take a look at what we've got here. So, as promised, Eta Crucis 7, that is all ocean that we see there. There's a lot of horizon haze that I can see, and there's a few, looks like orange clouds and whatnot. Oh yeah, while we're also moving away, let's secure for a maneuver.
Attention all crew, we're now preparing ourselves for the planned maneuver. Please perform your personal checklist and return to your cabin. Engineers be ready for propulsion testing, and flight surgeons report all crew before the maneuver.
Okay, let's see. So, yeah, some orange clouds here. Nice hazy atmosphere. As promised, it looks like there's rings. I see 3 major ring structures here. The area in near the planet itself is clear, which is good for orbits. I'm seeing some bright dots in there. So we've got, looks like shepherd moons in there. And now here's a big one right here. This is going to be one of the twin moons right here. It's gray in color. And let's see if we can find the other twin moon. There should be two of them. Where is the other one? Oh my gosh, it's right here. Wow, that's big. And this one's tan. So one of our moons is gray and the other one is tan. All right, let's put our sunglasses on and turn to face the star. So this is Eta Crucis. It's very close in color to our own sun, so there's not that much of a difference. I see a bright red dot right here. Okay, they are ready for the maneuver. I'm going to think that's got to be Eta Crucis 1. Look how close that is. And then, let's see, that's a light on board. So we've identified one planet so far, and let's see, we're here. I think I might see another planet here in the sun, and maybe another. Okay, I think I yeah, this is the orbital plane. So I think I spot one here, one here, one here, and let's see, that's a galaxy. Let's see if there's anything up this way. Any bright objects? This looks like a pretty bright object. That might be another planet as well. That could be Eta Crucis 8. So yeah, I think we spotted like 4 or 5 planets right off the bat. And everything to do with our own. Okay, the two vessels are now separated enough. We're going to turn on retrograde autopilot at this point. Get our numbers at the start of the burn. 762146.9. Initial mass 4702190. V1 is 1661. Really high up, right? Okay, let's see. Final check. We're retrograde, good, and we're separated an acceptable distance. And final check here. We're going to lower the orbit to 2,000 kilometers. So we're going to do that with a quick countdown. Yes, that's altitude. Okay, 3, 2, 1, initiating the maneuver.
Translation. Rotation.
Okay, we've had another control anomaly. We are not able to hold retrograde.
Translation. Rotation.
It does not make sense. There's the system we came from. So if I turn the retrograde auto, that's not right. There's definitely something wrong with the center of mass here. And it should not be the LeifErikson2. Okay, so what I did was I reloaded the simulation, and so far it seems to be working. So I think what happened is when we went to the extra-terrestrial ship and performed the undocking from that end, it screwed up some center of mass equation that was going on the Space Viking side, and so the center of mass was bugged. and using an incorrect value. So I reloaded the simulation. That seems to be working. So let's see if we can complete this maneuver. Oh, beautiful. Okay, it's working. So they are going quick away from us with that retrograde burn we're doing now. We want to see 2.00. That's where we stop, and we'll have to trim this because it's very very finicky. You know what? I think instead of doing it all in one go, I'm going to stop before we get to the rings. That will allow us to transit through that altitude before we get too close, because the issue is I can't tell exactly where that node is, and that's making things a little bit challenging. So let's call it there. Let's see, we're down to 906 meters per second. Final mass of the ship, 4694760. That means about 774 meters per second, and I calculated about 765. So that's pretty close. Fuel remaining in the tanks, 754,703. All right, and we'll just coast down in the orbit here, and we can tell what's moving. Okay, so this one's moving, that one's moving. Those are shepherd moons, and we got a third one. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can count any more of them. Oh, one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 shepherd moons. 1, 2 twin moons. And then let's see. Oh yeah, we need to get a ring distance. So this is about 7,200 kilometers. Then 15, so 30, 25 would put us really close to the rings, but that's the closest we're getting. So I think we'll be okay there. So what we'll do is we'll circularize, and then we'll collapse the orbit when we get to the node, and that will guarantee that we skip over it. I think we're going to get a flyby with this moon here, so I'm going to pay a lot of attention to that. And yeah, the system's coming to life here. So four shepherd moons and 2 large moons. All right, while we're drifting down, let's get some more information here on the Eta Crucis 7. We've been here a while. So sensors gathering mass, 7.192 times 10 to the 24th kilograms. Let's see what that is in Earth mass is. 7.1921 divided by 5.98. It's about 1.2 Earth masses, so it's a little bit bigger than the Earth. here it comes in the window. Keep an eye on this here. We got 20 seconds until I gotta slow down here. But yeah, there it is. Wow. Beautiful. Mean radius of 7,252 kilometers. A day of 15 hours, 55 minutes, 56 seconds. So that's actually really advantageous. It's almost exactly 16 hours. The pressure at 0 altitude, 47.05 kilopascal. That's about slightly less than half an atmosphere. The density at 0 altitude, 0.81 kilograms per cubic meter. That's about 2/3 of what it is on the Earth. Very nice. Okay, we'll get set up for our maneuver here. Okay, so it's time to turn retrograde. By the way, a moon has appeared here. It's tan, so that's going to be 7.2. It just slipped out. Oh, we can go up to the window. There it is, right there. Just a small crescent. There's Eta Crucis 7 itself. And let's see. So this burn is going to be 104 seconds, so 52 seconds before periapsis we make our maneuver. We're expecting it to be 1,105 meters per second, which is a longer burn, but it's not super long. I love this picture right here. These six. So that's Earth, Earth's moon, Jupiter, Mars, Io, and it looks like maybe Europa or Callisto. Kind of hard to tell. All right, we're pretty much lined up, and let's see if we can get an estimate for exactly where those rings are. Oh, they disappeared. I guess we're into the night shadow. Oh yeah, we can't see them because we're on the dark side of the we're on the shadow side, so we're unable to see them. Okay, and we're about 15 seconds from our burn. Okay, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. So we're going for a circular orbit, and it turns out that the inclination we've got, 26 degrees, is actually really great. If I take a look at our ground track here, if it'll load, I guess we're still a little bit high for the ground track to really mean anything. Planet spins very quickly, so it might have some issues trying to display this. But the other interesting thing is it's showing us at 47 degrees south, which doesn't make sense, but the equatorial inclination is only 26 degrees. Either way, the inclination is acceptable for us to be able to set up our desired base here. Alright, getting close to the end of the burn. Eccentricity is now down to 0.05. And this is it. 100, 70, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So, okay, very, very good. 30,000 by 30,000 and 20 kilometers. Final velocity 3999. Wow, that's very consequential. It's almost like I designed it that way, but like I said, all of this was procedurally generated by Space Engine. I just simply imported it to Orbiter. That's all I did. Okay. Let's see. Mass final. 468 3080. That shows that we used 1219 meters per second. So that was 100 extra meters per second that came in somewhere. If I subtract V2 minus V1, we get 1165, which is kind of in between. So I think I still need to work on the ISP predictions. All right, I guess my only concern here is the altitude of those moons, right? We've got to be pretty close to them. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Very close to 1. Let's see what the Eta Crucis 7-1. So 1 is about 718 kilometers in radius, and it is at 44,000 kilometers. So that means it will be further out than us by about 14,000 kilometers. So we're good. We're good to go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap around to this node, and once we get to the node, then we will lower the orbit. That will guarantee us flying over the rings. Okay, so while we wait, I found Eta Crucis 8. There it is, right there. And it's the biggest planet in the system. So here's some information about Eta Crucis 8. If I go to Celestial Body, Eta Crucis 8. The mass is 1.4-ish times 10 to the 25th kilograms. If I divide that by Earth masses, that is 2.3 Earth masses. And that's the largest planet in the entire system. There's actually no giant planets here. The radius is 8,790 kilometers. And its day is 13 hours, 59 minutes, and 41 seconds, with a very high surface pressure of 9.78 bar. That is approximately 10 atmospheres. So it has a very thick atmosphere. So up on the screen now is a very old view of Pluto. This was pre-New Horizons flyby, so we could not yet see the heart on Pluto. Anyway, everything is all set up for this burn. It's going to be approximately 90 seconds. The goal here is to lower the orbit from 30,000 kilometers down to 2,000 kilometers. We are at an equatorial node, which means we're going to be passing past the ring plane surface very soon. So that's going to guarantee that we do not run into any ring particles. And the very nice thing about this, I really like this orbit in the future. I'll consider using this as like a storage orbit because it has remained very stable across the entire half orbit that we've traversed it, and the speed is right at 4 kilometers per second, just about even. So that makes it really easy for math. Okay, so let's see. We're secured for maneuver, we're set retrograde, and we can maneuver at any time. Okay, we're igniting the engines. This is about 1.25 kilometers per second burn. The other great thing about, you know, the largest planet in this system being Eta Crucis 8 at 2.3 Earth masses basically means that there's no giants out there like Jupiter or Saturn to perturb the orbit. So I'm going to guess that as long as you're not near a moon, you're probably going to not have to be concerned about any significant perturbations, because the planet is so authoritative. In fact, when we complete our burn, I'll open up the window, the object info window, and that will tell us what the significant gravity sources are, you know, that are greater than 1 times 10 to the minus 5 order of significance. And I'm going to bet that maybe one other source besides us and the sun, and that is probably going to be planet 8. Okay, here we come. We're now down to 2.7 thousand kilometers, 2.5, 2.3. All right, there's 2. Right there, 1987. That's close enough. All right, new velocity 2745. That looks like, yeah, 1.25 just about. And let's see, we need our new mass. Four, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 0. Okay, yeah, actual says 1241. Okay. All right, let's look at our significant gravity sources real quick. Eta Crucis, that's the star. Eta Crucis 7. Eta Crucis 7.1 and 7.2. Okay, so our moons actually are pulling more on us than Planet 8 is. I guess that makes sense because they're probably like 10,000 times closer. Okay, so we're going to ride all the way down to Periapsis, and then we're going to maneuver to circularize at this location. And then once we do that, maneuvering will be just about complete. And we'll be flying over the rings in the meantime. At first, I thought that this was some sort of cloud outside. But it is not. It is the rings. Along with one of the moons, so that's the gray one, that is going to be 7.1. It's the inner of the twin moons. See, there's a shepherd moon coming along right here. Let's see if there's any other nearby. There's another shepherd moon. They're called shepherd moons because they dig out these tracks. A lot of times these gaps in the rings are caused by a shepherd moon coming through this region and clearing everything out. Hence why they're called that. There's a third one there. Let's see if we can find the other twin moon. It might be hiding behind the planet. But last I checked, it was out this way. Well, we're about to pass right over this shepherd moon. Wow, that was almost if we had zero inclination, that would have been an almost accidental encounter. Very tiny thing. It's like probably a chunk of ice that's like a kilometer or two wide. We're not that far from it, but it's still remaining a little dot. Hey, there's a storm, some type of hurricane thing. And yeah, all of this is just a tremendous ocean. It's kind of interesting. This is kind of like the midway between an Earth-like planet and a gas giant, because you've got, a solid object, but above that you've got an entire layer of liquid water instead of a layer of gas. You've got rings, you've got shepherd moons, you've got more than one large moon. I think I've seen some other stuff moving out there, so I believe there's higher, like, irregular moons out there. Okay, we're now turned retrograde, and we're expecting this burn to be 1,700 meters per second. It's going to be a 160-second burn, which means we burn when this says 80 seconds, and that's just over 40 seconds from now. We're now just about retrograde with the planet. Wow, this thing starts to look like planet Uranus. Remember, all of this is procedurally generated. All I did was import this to Orbiter. So if it looks like, oh, it makes sense he would design it that way. No, I didn't. An algorithm on Space Engine designed all of this. I edited nothing. I just simply imported everything. Here's our ground track, which we're about to fix. Okay, 10 seconds from the burn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, -1, -2. All right, V1 I got is 8893. So you can see at 8.9 kilometers per second, this is a lot more commanding in terms of gravity than Earth is. But it's only 1.2, it's like 1.2 Earth masses and 1.3 Earth radii or something like that. The radius of the planet is 7,252 kilometers. For reference, the Earth is 6,378 kilometers. Okay, our ground track is starting to make sense now. We're keeping it between the tropics, which is what I wanted to see. So what we're going to do is target the southerly area for the base, right around 25 to 30 degrees south as the most stable temperatures there. All right, just over halfway through the burn now. Wow, I'm surprised we're actually going to get below 8 kilometers per second here. Kind of surprises me, but I guess we're a little bit higher than what you might consider low 7 orbit, so perhaps that makes sense. Okay, maneuver to complete momentarily. We're now down to 0.06 eccentricity. .04, .03, .02, .01. We'll just watch those nodes move, and right there, mid-apses. 0.007. That's a good orbit. Final velocity, 7,201 meters per second. All right, let's get our final mass, 4655140. And the calculation says that was 1,684 meters per second. So that's within 16. That's fairly close. We are now below 90% fuel. So we're definitely starting to drop in that regard. Okay, let's confirm here that the first descent, everything is set up here. We lower the orbit to 2,000 kilometers, take the following cargo in the LeifErikson2. That's the cargo probe UMU, the cargo base tank, and the machines pack with the LeifErikson. So let's take a look at the LeifErikson real quick. Everything in here looks nominal still. That's a good thing. All right, we'll go up to payload camera view, and let's see. Yep, 4,208 UCGO cargo payload module. And we can open the bay doors to check, but I think we're good there. All right, let's go back to SpaceViking. Okay, so we believe we have the following cargo. The next step is to undock the LeifErikson2. So at this point, the mothership has now completed its maneuvering operations. So we'll go ahead and cancel retrograde and release everybody from the maneuver.
Attention all hands. We are secure from orbital maneuvering. You may resume your duties as usual. Engineering teams, please set engine to standby status.
Okay, fuel before the next burn. We're expecting a 715086. So if that number is not that value, we get suspicious that something happened to it. Okay, that's the end of my activities with the mothership. So I think we can go ahead and save and start getting this thing undocked. Let's just make sure systems. We've got 22 years of oxygen remaining in. Let's see, 715,000 kilograms of fuel, which is hopefully not going to be expended in a while. All right, let's switch over to the LeifErikson2 and let's check our fuel levels. So somebody filled us up. We're back to 100% again. Looks like APU may or may not have been filled. Oxygen is not quite topped off. So we can top off, but before that happens, I want to release a couple guys. So we don't want to take everybody to the surface the first time. So I think we'll keep it down to just the minimum. So we'll take Constance, Lee, Mobile, Mortimer, and myself. So we'll start transferring people over to the mothership.
Warning. Outer door is closed.
Oh. Huh. Okay, somehow the doors got closed. We are still docked, are we not? Yes, we are. Okay. Am I considered landed?
Must be landed to reset MET.
Whatever. We'll do it once we splash down.
Crew member transferred successfully.
Perfect.
Crew member transferred success. Crew member transferred. Crew member transfer. Crew member transferred. Crew member transferred. Crew member transferred. Crew member transferred successfully. Crew member transferred successfully. Crew member transferred successfully.
All right, myself, Mortimer Green, Mobile, Constance Lake. Okay, we got the 18. They take a look back in the mothership and make sure everybody showed up here. There should now be like 10 people on board. Take a look at the crew list. Okay, here they are. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we have 4 left in the ship for 14. So everybody's in here. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, wait, did I miscount something? Oh no, there's 15 of us. 14 advisors plus me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then in the other ship, well, 13, 14, 15. Okay, now we're good. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look. So now with all these people, now there's only 2 years of oxygen. So that's important to know. But we're not going to be down there for 2 years. I think at this point I will record like the mission notes section that let's see, as of first landing, O2 depletion date, it's just about 2 years from now. We'll just say September 2021. Okay. And the reason why I had to do dates in the past are because of how the system was configured in Space Engine, just to make sure that everything was all set at the beginning. All right, we're done here. Let's top off.
Fuel hatch open. LOX hatch open. Refueling systems online. LOX resupply systems online. LOX tanks full.
And we will take scram fuel, because now the scramjet will work.
Main fuel tanks full. APU fuel tanks full.
Okay, so I forgot to open up the cargo area, or the docking bay.
Bay door opening.
So we'll do that now. We'll also turn the cargo area light on, because I just realized the cargoes that we have on board are not the cargoes we will take to the surface. Remember, we've got the zoo, we've got the what is it? We've got the zoo, we've got the seeds, and we've got the 3D printer. And what we need to take are 2 tanks, the cargo probe, and the machines pack 1. Those are different. I'll go through my panel checks here. So all of this on. Hover doors we will open. Retro. Oh, wait a minute. No, we don't want to open hover. We want retro. Close the inner and outer doors. We'll open the bay doors, because we're going to have to do operations here. Let's see, RCS rotation. That's odd, it didn't find didn't find the frequency. And the transponder is 124.00.
Information. APU running.
Alright, APU's full, closing.
Locks resupply systems offline. Refueling systems offline.
Alright, closing down here, make sure our radiator, we should deploy that. Alright, and then we want to do our check here, a re-entry check, and make sure all the systems are good. It will fail, but it'll let us know what is open.
Warning. Re-entry check failed.
Okay, nose cone's open, that's known. Radiator deployed, that's good. Retro doors are open, that's good. And bay doors are open, that's good. Alright, so at this point, I've decided it's probably... Let's shut down the APU real quick. I've decided that it's a little bit better if we go to the Space Viking and get that cargo prepared to go. So let's see, we want to hit the plus button a whole bunch. Okay, we want the cargo probe UMMU. Oh, that's an exploration set, something different. Landing transponder beacon. That's it. Ah, that's what we want. Auto unpack probe. Wait, no. UMU. That's it. Alright, so we'll set add. Okay, now it's in that cargo slot. And then we want 2 cargo-based tanks. Right? A tank for the hydrogen and a tank for the oxygen. Oh. Inflate-based tank. That's it. Add the tank. And add one more. Add. Okay, so that's a tank for the hydrogen and oxygen, and then we only need machines pack 1 now. That's it. 1 electrolyzer, 1 compressor. That's going to be machines pack 1. I think I need to reset this in the config file. The mass of this is supposed to be 1,000 kilograms. But here it's showing up as 0. I guess because UCGO will set it to 1,000, but the arrow doesn't interpret it or something like that. Alright, let's take a look and just confirm that the cargo's been added to the area, and there it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to maneuver... I'm only counting 3. Oh, I guess the 4th one is there. We're going to maneuver the LeifErikson2 directly overhead of here. Then we're going to release our cargoes, and then the ship here is the Space Viking will grapple. Then the Space Viking will release the other cargoes, and then we will grapple them. And I think we want to do this one at a time, because if something goes awry, especially with the zoo, oh my gosh, what a disaster that would spell. Alright, make sure all our lights are on and APU on for security. RCS translation.
Translation.
And let's put the docking HUD on. And we should be all set to undock. The bay door is open. Okay. Undocking.
Warning, undocking
external cooling
confirmed.
offline.
I
confirmed.
hate that. I forgot to turn off the external cooling line here. I need to get better checklists. Alright, so don't go that way. It looks like there's a door that way, but we can sidestep to the left.
Information. APU running.
Okay, if we don't need it, we can turn it off. So what I'm going to do is translate around the ship, and this should be a lot of fun. I'm going to translate around the ship in a rotationally stable attitude, but we'll kind of curve around with the ship along the outside, and then we'll flip over and translate back to the cargo area. Oh, door. No me gusta. Alright, well forget that. Let's figure out where this door is. I hate how this always occurs at night. Always. Okay, we've cleared that door now.
$40.
I think that's the front canard.
Rotation. Translation.
No, not time for rotation. Well, I'm surprised this whole time the docking orientation has been completely 100% constant. Even after all this time, it's still perfectly aligned. Almost makes me want to dock again, but that's not what we're trying to do here. Alright, yeah, we need to turn around at some point.
Rotation. Translation.
Okay, we're there. Let's kill all our translation velocity right now. Rotate 180 degrees around.
Rotation.
Okay, we're now perfectly backwards aligned, so now at this point we will flip upside down.
Translation, rotation. Translation.
Alright, now we translate backwards along the edge of the mothership. That will get us to the cargo area. Alright, and we're just about there. So we're going to kill all remaining velocity here. Alright, this is going to be a little bit dodgy, so what we want to do is release this thing with no velocity at all, because ideally we want this thing to just sit. The other thing that we could try doing is selecting the cargo tray itself, and instead of jettisoning it, just doing Shift-C and seeing if that works. So it says 9 or Shift 9 will select. Oh no, that's something different. Alright, let's see if we can release a cargo here. I'm going to press Shift-C. Okay, something got released. Oh my god, that's moving too fast, too fast, too fast. Grapple, grapple, grapple. Where is it? Cargo. Grapple, quick. What did I get? Oh my gosh, I got the zoo. Oh boy. Oh, that was close. That was close. I was not expecting that to fly out at that speed. Okay, so I need to come back here and click Operation Grapple. Holy cow, that was terrifying. That's just too fast. I can't grab it when it comes out at that speed. And there's no way to decrease the deployment speed because it's controlled by the cargo unit itself. Alright, so I'm going to get ready to speed select. It is the Space Viking. We're going to Shift-C, cargo released. Switch to the Space Viking. Grapple cargo. And we got the seed package. Go back to LeifErikson2 and do this one more time. And 3, select the Space Viking here. 3, 2, 1, Shift-C, cargo release, select Space Viking, and grapple. 3D printer. Okay. Goodness gracious. Alright, now we're going to select our slot. So let's do the UMU, and we want to release the cargo. Is there a way to control the release speed? Ah, release speed, there it is. Okay, 0.01 meters per second is the slowest that we can release it at. So I'm going to release, I'm going to select the cargo tray, and then I'm going to press C to grapple. Alright, this is the probe. So, 3, 2, 1, now. Release. Cargo tray, okay. Press C, cargo grapple. Okay, I think we got... I can't see what we have on board. That's frustrating. We're just going to have to trust the menus. Alright, go back to the Space Viking. Now we're going to do it with the first tank. Release speed 0.01 in 3, 2, 1, release. Cargo tray, select C, cargo grappled. And it only stores one menu item, so there's no way to tell if I actually got it. So instead, what I'm going to do is click grapple, and good. Okay, we should see the error message. That means that the cargo's gone because I grappled it with the LeifErikson2. Okay, release speed 0.01 for the second tank, releasing in 3, 2, 1, now. Alright, selecting UCGL cargo tray, press C, cargo grapple, go back to the Space Viking. I'm going to press grapple, and we see the expected error. Okay, we're going to do this one more time for the electrolyzer and compressor. That's besieged package 1. Releasing in 3, 2, 1, now. Released, go to the cargo tray, select, press C, cargo grappled. Now go back to Space Viking. Now we're going to grapple, and we see unable to grapple cargo. Okay. Alright, so those animals are now free on board. Look out for the lions and stuff, and we are finished. So we'll go back to the LeifErikson2. Let's see, we've got... oh, we need to go to the payload camera view. 2,182 kilograms stored on board. Turn the APU on. Close the bay doors, and let's get out of here. At this point, we're now done with docking operations. We'll close the nose cone. We'll close the retro doors. And we've got 24 days to make some oxygen from the ocean. I think we're now secure. Alright, so we used a total of 11 meters per second, but the tank are still full, so 13397 for the next burn. Initial mass we're expecting around 36505. We're in a circular orbit, expecting the speed is about 7199 meters per second, and we're ready to plan our next maneuver, which is the orbital phasing. So I'm going to develop a solution, and then we'll
Rotation.
figure out what to do about that. In the meantime, I'm going to change the HUD over to nav 2 just to keep an eye on the Space Viking. Oh, the sun's coming up. Wow, that is awesome. Alright, we're ready now. It's going to be an 18-second burn, so at this point we'll be turning retrograde. see where our mothership is. Perfect. We're in a safe orientation. You know what? I did say 120, or no, I said 150 kilometers. I think that's a little bit low just because we not 100% sure about this atmosphere. Yeah, let's go to 7452 instead. Give us an extra 50 kilometers of buffer just in case. So now this burn is going to be 399 meters per second. The second one is going to be 440. It's a little bit safer doing it this way. Alright, and we should be able to burn at any time. So we'll do that now. We're going to go until make sure this is altitude. Our altitude gets down to that would put us at 200 kilometers. Alright, last check. Velocity 7,200. Current vessel mass 3,6,500. Fuel, we're 100% full. Alright, this is about an 18-second burn. Initiating in 3, 2, 1, now. We get the bay tanks alert with the cargo on board. That's just a UCGO tray thing. 900, 800, 700, 600, 500, 400, 300. And there's 200. And where's our ship? Oh wow, that really shot back. Gone off into the night. Hopefully we'll be back because we kind of need to come back. That moon is so close, I can't believe it. Also, where's my yellow moon? That just seems to have disappeared. I wanna see the yellow moon. Where did it go? It's so far it seems to be the one to hide. This one likes to show itself. The other one likes to hide. Oh, 2 more planets. I'm guessing that's 1 and 2. They're like racing each other around the sun there. And then there's another one behind it. Very nice. I did color when I imported, I colored the star accordingly. And I will say that I almost can't tell the difference between the sun and this star. Alright, get our final velocity 6803. Final mass of the ship 35154. Means we burn 398.4 meters per second for a targeted 399. That is perfect. And just make sure good. Our coolant temperature is bottomed out. Life support's running. We have 24 days, and everything is cut off for the time being. No autopilot running. And at this point, we're far away from the mothership, so we'll go ahead and turn all our lights off. We're literally the only thing around at this point. And for the Space Viking, we'll go ahead and flip back to that and turn a few things off here. So nothing's nearby.
Bay door closing.
Close the bay door, and all the lights can turn them off. And that's it until we get to periapsis. As I'm starting to descend, I'm looking at our temperature readouts. I guess it would also be a good idea to take a look at the surface here and see if we get any pressure readouts. I don't think that we will. Oh. We just got a temperature update at about 1,100 kilometers. So we're, let's see, 175 Kelvin. It's about minus 145 Fahrenheit. That is most likely a radiative temperature because the air should be so thin. We're at 965 kilometers. We're now down to 360 kilometers. Okay, I'm seeing the temperature dropping. That might indicate that we're near the base of the thermosphere. Man, look at that ocean. Down below 250 kilometers. Everything's still good. Okay, we're about 3 minutes before the burn, so the burn is going to take approximately 24 seconds. We need to start the burn 12 seconds before periapsis here. We'll turn retrograde. Oh, I'm glad we picked 200 and not any lower than that. We have a dynamic pressure reading, so definitively we are in the atmosphere now with this dynamic pressure indication here. Get my pre-maneuver numbers, fuel before the burn. 12051. Initial mass 35152. V1 8440. It will climb higher, but I'm just capturing a number now so to ensure I don't forget. Okay, we're nearing periapsis. We have about 25 seconds to go until this burn begins. Ten seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. We're going to see just how stable the circular orbit is. We're done. Final velocity 8,025 meters per second. That's cool. So low 7 orbital velocity is precisely 8 kilometers per second, basically. Final mass 33781. So 422 meters per second for a targeted 421 meter per second burn. Exactly as planned. Check it out. It's our twin moons finally acting like twins. And that is, they don't want to be anything like each other. So hence one of them is gray and the other one is gold. I'm going to look at maybe setting up the base in the northern hemisphere. If we land in the northern hemisphere, it will be pretty darn close to being full sun, you know, in the noon hours. So I'm going to take a look at the climate if we set up a base at about 27 degrees north. Okay, I am very satisfied with the results that I got. So here's, if we targeted 30 degrees south, which was my best choice, here's what we would have seen. In the warm season, the high temperature would have been 63 degrees Fahrenheit. The low temperature would have been 45 degrees Fahrenheit. In the cold season, the high temperature would be 28 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low temperature would be 10 degrees Fahrenheit. At 25 degrees north, during the warm season, the high temperature would be 62 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low temperature would be 44 degrees Fahrenheit. And in the cold season, the high temperature would be 21 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low temperature would be 3 degrees Fahrenheit. So, yes, it's a little bit colder, but only by a few degrees. And in fact, the cold season doesn't last quite as long, which is a little bit of a nice thing. For water temperatures during the winter, the ocean temperature is going to be 35 degrees Fahrenheit, and during the warm season, it will be 46 degrees Fahrenheit. The only difference between the hemispheres is if you were at 30 degrees south, then the ocean temperature would be 59 degrees Fahrenheit. But keep in mind that we're landing on an ocean, which means that eventually we'll be able to create a sail, and then we can change our location on the ocean, right? Because we don't have to be in one specific place. We can migrate quite a bit. We're probably going to do it anyway, just due to random currents, even if we don't. Anyway, I am very satisfied with our condition now, so what I'm going to do is wait until we get a little bit further around to the targeting location, which if I grab my map here, the area that I'm going to target are where these two lines intersect here. And the idea is I'm going to try to get the probe to land here, and then on the second orbit, on pass around, we'll come and meet this location. And that is where we want to be. Okay, so I've developed a small re-entry solution for our probe, and I believe that we need to be at this location right here when we perform the drop. So to do that, we're going to need to
Translation.
Deploy the probe, and doing so requires that we open the bay doors, which I've already done, but also open the nose cone and depressurize the airlock. And let's see, we gotta choose, who do we want to do this? Let's have our city planner do this. Alright, and we'll evacuate the airlock. But before that, the person needs to get in, so the airlock opens. Then the person in their spacesuit gets in this case our advisor, and we close the inner door. Let's see how much time we have. We still have time. And now we evacuate the airlock.
Airlock depressurizing. Airlock pressure 0 psi.
Okay, now we can open the outer door, but we'll ask her to remain in the airlock until we're absolutely ready to deploy the cargo. And now it's just an issue of waiting. Okay, it is time. We're now within the window of release. So at this point we will kill rotation. And we will select the cargo unit here. And actually, before we deploy it, let's spacewalk, because the concern is that if we aren't ready when it goes, we also don't know what's going to get deployed, which I think is the biggest concern. So.
Egress successful.
Okay, Constance-Lee is now outside. There is a helmet light that we can turn on with L. And we'll have her turn around and start making her way up to the unit. So we have 2 hours and 7 minutes of oxygen. Okay, good. The light is working.
Translation.
Now we're going to translate up to the cargo bay.
Rotation. Translation.
See, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to probably press C a whole bunch of times and then figure out which ones we can pull back in. And we have to grab that first cargo. Alright, now null relative velocity.
Rotation.
Alright, so now we select the cargo tray and shift C, see what gets released. Grapple. Got it. Well, that really flew out, but that was the correct one to come out. We've got the probe. That was 100% luck there, especially at the speed it came out. Alright, so let's get this thing away from the ship, and then we'll unpack it. And if I'm correct, actually we can look here. Believe it's going to want to take a left turn as soon as it lights up. So what we're going to do is get this thing turned up a little bit, and then we're going to unpack it. And once we unpack it, we're going to get the blazes out away from it, because it has an engine which will then fire to put it into an orbit that will cause it to re-enter.
Rotation.
Alright, so right there, I want to confirm the orientation real quick. Yeah, it's going to want to take a left turn. Alright, so we'll make sure we're in translation.
Translation.
We'll let go of it with the G key. We'll translate away from it a little bit. Then we'll press the U key, and then as soon as it shows that it's unpacked, then we're getting away.
Unpacking cargo.
Alright, go, 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 go.
Rotation.
Want to get the heck away from it. Alright, there it goes. It's doing its thing. Very soon it should be lighting up its engine, and then it's going to take off suddenly. So it's in a
Translation.
30-second wait right now. Ten seconds to go, and then it's just going to fire all of a sudden and disappear. Alright, igniting engines in 2, 1, now. There it goes. And it's gone. Alright, we can turn our light off now. And Constance is back inside. Secure.
Airlock pressurizing.
Okay, if you look at the bottom left, you can now see it's collecting atmospheric data. It's measuring the exospheric temperature now, so that's extremely high, as expected.
Rotation. Airlock pressure 14.7 psi.
Alright, hopefully this thing enters where I think it's going to. Close the bay doors. Alright, and now we're going to take remote control of the probe and see what data it's collecting. And it's very quiet because it has no onboard life support system. It's just a box of hardware. Let's see, so 198 kilometers. That's a ground speed, 7,266 meters per second. Currently not registering any pressure indications, and the temperature of the exosphere, it looks like about 1400 centigrade. So that's expected. Here's what our orbit looks like. It's exactly what I planned for, so hopefully that means it's going to re-enter exactly where I think it's going to. We'll skip through to where it starts to enter the atmosphere. Okay, the altitude of the probe is now 116 kilometers. We are falling pretty fast, so I think we're going to be very close to our desired location here. Probe latitude is currently 17 degrees north. We're at the point now where I can't tell whether or not I hear the sound of the atmosphere when I'm really quiet. I feel like I can barely do it. So we've got a camera, we've got a microphone, so we'll be able to hear the ambient sounds. And then, of course, we've got our dynamic and static pressure gauges, and we've got outside air temperature, both in a probe as well as a electromagnetic sensor, which is getting the exospheric temperature. And as you can see, that's starting to decrease very quickly, which indicates we're in the thermosphere now. I will try to call off atmospheric events as I recognize them. Basically, what I'm going to do is when I see falling exospheric temperature, I'm going to consider that the thermosphere. Then it's probably going to pause and then start coming up again. That's going to be the mesosphere. And I'm expecting a mesosphere because of the hydrocarbons. And then when it decreases again, that's the stratosphere. And then when it increases the final time, and that is also the point where we'll begin slowing dramatically. And then once we're going very slowly, and the temperature starts to increase, that's the troposphere. It looks like we are now beginning the re-entry. I'm looking at the vertical acceleration there, and that is now starting to turn around. So negative 0.01. As soon as that goes to 0.00, then it means that the atmosphere is now slowing us down. There is now 0.12 meters per second squared, which is about 1% of 1 G now acting on the craft. And the next event will occur at a dynamic pressure of 1, and that is when the craft will turn us around into the airstream. We are now below 100 kilometers. I believe the heat shield is actually facing forward. Still falling through the thermosphere. Dynamic pressure is now above 0.9 Pascal. We're expecting the orientation maneuver to occur momentarily. Okay, expecting them. There it is. Okay, that's our reorientation maneuver. We're now orienting into the flight path. 90 kilometers and falling. So I'm targeting this intersection point that you see right around the cursor. That's where I'm hoping the probe lands, right there. Okay, atmospheric temperature is now beginning to get very normal. We're nearing the base of the thermosphere. I'm going to reset the track window to the center of where I want to see us land so that I can figure out how far off track we are. Okay, we now have secondary outside air temperature readings here, as well as a Mach value. We're doing Mach 31 basically. Okay, here comes the 100 Pascal level. That was at 59 kilometers. Okay, it looks like the atmospheric temperature is now stabilized. We are definitely in the mesopause. We're now overshooting the landing location that I wanted to target, but we will be slowing down very quickly in a short amount of time. You can hear the sounds of the atmosphere beginning to build. Okay, atmospheric temperature is warming. We're in the mesosphere. We're now decelerating at 0.2 Gs. Okay, we're expecting a plasma formation around the vehicle, and we're going to be experiencing peak heating very shortly. Things will get very noisy all at once. Now about 1/2 G deceleration. More than 1 G of deceleration at this point. Two Gs of deceleration. All right, here comes the big plunge. Three Gs. All right, everything is going to happen all at once now. 4 Gs. Five Gs. 6 Gs. Stratopause, 7 Gs. Stratosphere, 8 Gs. We have a peak at about 8.6 Gs. Orienting for landing. See a cloud layer? We're now descended below the cloud layer. So there were clouds after all. Okay, looks like the deceleration and landing sequence has begun. Current atmospheric temperature minus 50 Celsius, or approximately minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Tropopause. troposphere. Current altitude 13,000 feet. 10,000 feet. $6,500 feet. $3,200 feet. $2,000 feet. Have the shadow. 800 feet. $300 feet. $150 feet. $100 feet. $60 feet. $30 feet. $20 feet. $10 feet. $6 feet. We might have hit the waves. 3 feet. If not, we might already be on the surface of the water. Oh, it seems there's been a control anomaly. Why do we keep having these control anomalies? Alright, this time, if it looks like it's going for another go. If it fails again, I'm going to turn off the automatic pilot and do this myself. I can take manual control if I need to. Well, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I sure hope our Eta Crucis ascent doesn't go like that when we ascend from Planet 8. think it might have gotten confused at the waves. And it couldn't figure out where to touch, and it just needs to stop. Just drop into the drink. That's all I needed to do. If it starts contorting again, I'm gonna disable the autopilot. We're at 5 meters. No, nope. Not gonna allow that to happen. 3 meters. 2 meters. We hit. Okay. So is our transponder working now? Yes, it is. Okay. Landing information. That was a success, but it was nearly a failure. I can't believe that. All right, landing information. As expected, the static pressure is 47.05 kilopascal. That's 47% of 1 atmosphere. Final probe landing location. Latitude 26.432 degrees north. Longitude 173.708 degrees east. And I'm not even sure how it's figuring that out because it's an ocean. So the longitude is kind of undefined. But somehow they've been able to define longitudes for the gas giants, which are kind of like that. Okay, probe transponder is 129.8 megahertz. And we're done. Let's return to the LeifErikson2. And now we target the probe. And so now you can see here's the difference in where I wanted it to be versus where I actually am. And on the next orbit, we are going to go chase it down. But for now, everything is stable in our current orbit. Okay, now that that's over, the next thing we need to do is inclination adjustment. I'm anticipating about 550 meters per second being needed for that. If we look at where our orbit is versus where we need to be, which is up here, it looks like the difference there is about 4 degrees, and we need to increase our inclination. We do that by burning southwards at the equator, which the crossing will be down here. And at a maximum acceleration, if I go down to right here, looks like the mains are only going to give us 9.5 meters per second squared. That's actually kind of surprising. That means it's going to be a roughly 50-second burn or something like that. So we'll plan that down here. We're virtually in a circular orbit, so I should be able to get just about all the other numbers there. The current fuel that is in the tank is 10,680 kilograms. Current initial mass 33,414. And current velocity is 8,025 meters per second. So at this point we should be good until about 2 minutes before that time. In the meantime, I'm going to change the HUD color back to green, which is what I like it to be in space, in low orbit. Okay, we're just about ready to roll now. We can see the twin moons again. Between the rings there, and you can see there's hardly any rings, which indicates that we're near the node. we're now at our proper attitude. So what I'm going to look at is the latitude, which lets me know when to start the burn, and the current ground track for the next orbit. We're targeting this right here. So right now I definitely want to get all the numbers again. So current fuel 10680, current mass 33407, V1 8025, and we're ready to go. We're about 1.5 degrees north, and we'll go ahead and ignite the engines. Let's see, a 1 minute burn. Looks like about 1.2 north for now. Okay. We've got it. Just one more. Alright, that should be good. Alright. Final numbers 8031. So we had 6 meters per second of parasitic that we don't want. We should actually fix that right now because it looks like we're at yeah, we're at periapsis. So let's go prograde. Final mass. It looks like 31106. So that used a little bit more fuel than I was anticipating. That apparently took 756 meters per second. So I think my crude estimate was very crude. We're okay now. We're showing an intercept right there, and let's fix this. So we'll go to translation.
Translation.
And we're moving too fast. We need to slow down. So we'll add backward translation. Get back down to our speed here. We're back with hardly any eccentricity. Perfect. Okay, so our orbit is now lined up with where the transponder beacon is. Our orbit is correct going into entry. So now the only thing left is to do the deorbit burn. And thankfully I've already taken care of the math, so I can go over the details here. So for the deorbit burn, I am planning to do that from this altitude, from a true anomaly of 180. What that means is I'm burning straight in a single maneuver along the retrograde vector. We're expecting interface at around 59 kilometers, and that's per the previous auto land probe, which found it was 59 kilometers. I was planning 60 kilometers before I sent the probe, so that's confirmation that my understanding of the atmosphere thus far is actually really good. We're going to target an eccentricity of 0.02, which will give us a flight path entry velocity at re-entry interface, which is 59 kilometers, approximately 1.15 degrees. And that is intentionally shallow because we are very heavy, and we've also never done the re-entry before. Again, I'm anticipating this to be somewhat like Earth, maybe a little bit more intense because we're coming down with mostly full fuel, and that is intentional. Normally, in the future, we won't do that once we set up our refueling station. And as we get more and more times where we're getting to the base successfully, we can take less and less fuel. So that will give us a horizontal range of 10,101 kilometers. At that point, we enter the second phase of re-entry, which is the heat intense one. So at that situation, given our current mass following a vertical speed profile of 50 meters per second, really negative 50, I'm anticipating a maximum acceleration of approximately 2 Gs, a maximum temperature of 1,470 degrees Celsius, and a ground range of approximately 5,630 kilometers, which means that I am anticipating that we are going to need to perform the re-entry burn at 15,731 kilometers from our targeted location here, which is the transponder. So the next thing I need to do is figure out how I'm going to calculate that, because it is not like previous situations where we have a pre-established base. So I'm going to have to work that number out myself. Great news. So I have base sync installed, and I just remembered that they have a entry latitude and longitude feature. So I have just done that, made this entry into the system, and now it's giving me ground speed readouts as well as distance readouts. So there we go. We're still on the front side. We're showing approximately 13,800 kilometers from the transponder, and we'll just roll around until we're approximately 2 minutes out from where we're going to need to do our re-entry burn. Well, technically it's a deorbit burn followed by atmospheric entry. There is no re yet. We have not been to this planet yet. So I'll play around with a few more of this stuff and see if I can get any more information from it, but other than that, we'll show up here about 2 minutes from that deorbit burn. So good news, I have been able to cross-check my numbers. So the way I did that is I entered all my information here for the 1.15 degree re-entry that I'm planning, and the deorbit program, and it's showing that we should perform a delta V of 80 meters per second. And by spot checking, I'm anticipating that after the end of my burn, to get into the orbit that I had planned to, the velocity is 79.42, and we're at 80.24. So that's about 80 meters per second, which means it's basically the same orbit. So that cross-checks very nicely. So I will see you guys at the orbit point. Here we are. It is about time to get ready. I have resolved one more time for a final plan. We're showing 15,520 kilograms. So that, or 15,520 kilometers. That is where we're going to do our burn. So we're going to check both airlock doors are closed. They are. We want to check the nose cone is closed. It's not, so let's take care of that. altitude. Still expecting 80 meters per second, 4-second burn. Which means to do this, we want to execute it about 16 kilometers before the target, so we light the engines at 15, 536, 560, 550, 540, 536. A little bit of an overburn here. All right, 7945. Final mass. 30814. So that took about 93 meters per second. And that was likely due to the overburn. So we have corrected back for that. Fuel tank now sitting at 8129 and current mass 30815.
Rotation.
Okay, going back to the checklist. The burn has been done, so we're going to go to the re-entry attitude, and should be done with base sync. Now we'll go to aero brake and check our range to landing and anticipated flight path. Okay, we are go. Current estimates are approximately 1.9 Gs or so for the re-entry. And we should be able to check our temperatures. There it is. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what's going to happen there, but either way, I am still happy with this. We're going to need to keep an eye on that position. It's going to be pretty challenging because there's no base to use as a gold pike, so we're going to have to read the latitude and longitude and very carefully read that at all times. So anyway, we're go for re-entry. So at this point we're going to set our radios for landing, so we can select the transponder of the device sitting in the ocean right now, which is 129.8. Alright, 129.8. Select it for there, and HSI 129. Very good, we're all set there. Okay, the next thing that we're concerned with is the entry interface. So we're at about 188 kilometers right now. You can see now we are starting to register a dynamic pressure reading. We're now at 20 millipascals of atmospheric pressure. And when that gets a little bit more tense, somewhere around 120 kilometers or so, we'll come back and prepare for the atmospheric plunge. See you then. Current altitude is 117 kilometers, so at this point we will begin our later stage re-entry items here. So we're going to activate APU, make sure our retro and hover doors are closed. At this point we will stow the radiator, pull the temperatures as low as it's going to get. Once this completes, we're going to perform our re-entry check.
Re-entry check. All systems green.
Okay, all systems are showing go at this point. Then at approximately 2 minutes from re-entry interface, we'll engage in the final items, but it's going to be a few more minutes. You can see we're now getting temperature readings from the atmosphere. Current temperature is about negative 138 Celsius, or 215 below 0 Fahrenheit. Current atmospheric pressure is now 1/2 a Pascal. Currently looks like we're passing some sort of frontal system. Okay, we're now down to 88 kilometers, so at this point we will be turning our re-entry temperature display on. We're going to engage the autopilot. We're going to set our first angle of attack of about 35 degrees. Engage, turn the APU on. Change our HUDs here. I want to get the vertical speed down to about 50 meters per second. Get our last look out here in space before we enter the atmosphere of Eta Crucis 7, the all-ocean planet. Another thing I can do to prepare for landing is set a initial descent rate here of 0.5. I do want to try the hover and auto land features though. Okay, we're now showing 174 degrees east. That's our targeted location. And here we go, 60 kilometers. Kilometers. Re-entry interface. Re-entry has begun. Okay, we're starting to heat up now. We're showing about 0 degrees centigrade now. Okay, deceleration force is now 1/3 G. Celsius. So we have a little bit of a bounce here, and what I think I will do in the future is use a steeper re-entry path. I'm okay with a bounce. My number one goal is to get me to that transponder. Temperatures here. And we're now at 40 Celsius. And look at that ocean. This place almost looks like a gas giant planet. I mean, if you think of it, it's technically a ocean medium planet, which is like the halfway between an Earth and a gas giant planet. So gorgeous. And yes, I know this re-entry is, for the most part, very slow and very boring and very long. That is entirely intentional. I'm heavy. This is the first time I'm coming to this atmosphere. I want a lot of margin for error. But so far, everything is showing us that our predictions are bang on.
Mach 25.
Ooh, the view from this window is much better. Sounds like we're heating up again. There's 500 Celsius again.
Mach 24. Mach 23.
We're starting to cook on this second drop. We're about 850 Celsius. And oh yes, we've got a plasma cloud. About 930 Celsius, that's not bad. Still showing just about bang on for our target here. Should be able to get a current distance from base. We're 1,800 kilometers away.
Mach 21.
And the plasma cloud's gone again. Nice and easy. And from this, we're going to encounter a third bounce.
Information. APU fuel 90%.
We should also check our fuel, or our coolant temperature here. We're up to 47
Mach
Celsius.
20.
I can begin to hear the atmosphere. Looks like a shepherd moon there.
Mach 19.
Alright, here comes our third dip. Plasma cloud's probably going to come back. So let's see, we are north of the ring plane, which means it looks like this time of year the rings are going to be mostly invisible to us on the ground. But if we went to the southern hemisphere, we would see them more. much
Mach
hotter this
17.
time. We're above 1,000 centigrade. And this time the underside of the ship is heating up.
Mach 16.
Alright, 173.7, 26.24, just about settled in. We are bang on.
Mach 15.
Current range 730 kilometers. The orbit is collapsing as expected.
Mach 14.
We should be almost within range of picking it up on the radio.
Mach 13.
Current estimates look very, very good. So I'm expecting to use my hover and retro doors, and those have limits.
Mach 12.
Looks like 41 kilopascal dynamic pressure for retro, and it doesn't list. That's weird. It does not list the hover door restriction. Okay, it looks like
Mach 11.
showing up as coming just short.
Mach 10.
Can we get radio? Oh, we've got a signal.
Mach 9.
That's it. We can actually see it now. It looks like it's going to be slightly to our left, so I'm going to introduce a
Mach 8.
5-degree left bank. Decrease the angle here. Yeah, this is absolute money right now.
Mach 7.
And at this point, we are now at 66,000 feet. The stars are fading, and I can now start to see a very thin aqua glow coming in. We are seeing the sky of Eta Crucis 7.
Mach 6.
Current estimate is money.
Mach 5.
Okay, we are preparing for dropout at this point. Secondary HUD to 3. We'll prepare to cancel the re-entry autopilot. AF control to on.
Pitch on.
And we'll proceed with our entry, or
Mach 4.
landing preparations. "60 kilometers from our target location."
Mach 3.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to decrease the angle in preparation for our dropout here.
Mach 2.
Of course, being very careful that we do not cause a wing stress event. Okay, now trying to drop out of the small,
Subsonic.
get into the airstream. We're now subsonic.
$5,000.
Okay. That's it, we're disabled. Now free flying like an airplane. We're looking for our ship. Where is that transponder? Okay, that's it. Okay, current dynamic pressure is 9 kilopascal.
4,000.
We should be able to open the retro doors now. And the hover doors.
$3,000.
Alright guys, this is it.
$5,000.
I'm not sure what it's calling 5,000. We're at 2 kilometers.
2,000. 4,000.
No. It's getting confused. I don't. Oh, I know why. It's because of the distance from the the transponder. That's what it is.
3,000. You are cleared to land.
Okay, we want to go for the attitude hold autopilot very shortly. We're now at 1 kilometer.
$1,000.
Alright, auto hover.
900. $800.
We're not hovering. There we go. We auto land. Gear down.
Gear 700.
Decelerating.
Gear down and locked. 500. 400. 300. 200. 45.
Okay, here we go.
50, 40, 30, 20, 15,
Stop.
10, 8, 6, 5,
We're moving about 5 miles per hour
3,
now.
2,
All right, guys, this is it.
1. Touchdown.
Okay, we've had our splashdown.
Wheel stop.
Wow, we've done it. We're in the ocean. Okay, there's our transponder. Let's see if we can get a range to that. It's currently showing up as 6 kilometers away. Not too bad. So what I can do at this point is prepare to go to that. So I want to record our current velocity here and our ship mass. So the fuel before the burn, 6457. Current velocity. Actually, let's shut down the APU real quick. Current velocity is 0, and let's see what we can do with this. Alright, I want to see how much delta V we have left. Alright, so we have our results now, and I currently believe that we have about enough to make 11.5 kilometers per second of delta V. I can get by if we have 4,400 kilograms left in the tank, and that's with the ocean resupply fueling system failing. So we should be good to go. So I'm going to record that right now is the minimum main fuel for ascent is 4,457 kilograms. Stop Watertaxi before that. And I just gave it away. So the plan is to Watertaxi to the location. So we'll turn pitch on. I don't think we're going to need RCS rotation for this. And can we see it from here? Yes, it's just pretty much 100% turned around. Let's head on over there. We're now going 72 miles an hour, so I am going to call it there and say no faster. So that is 33 meters per second. Alright, we had 6 kilometers to close. We're now at 5, which means we're 1/6 of the way, and we burned approximately 500
5,000.
kilograms. There we go. That's a little bit more of a realistic view of what we're doing. At this point, I can also streamline. We do not need those retro doors anymore. And just checking the altitude.
2,000.
We're in the water. Hover doors are closed. There we go. That should save us just a tad bit more fuel. I also want to bring the elevator trim back to neutral because that will also streamline. Whoops. Oh, we're here. I'm a little confused because it said 2,000.
900.
Oh my gosh. That's the heat shield. That's not it. Okay, well that explains that discrepancy.
Warning, nose cone is closed.
Oh, that's okay.
Warning,
I'm not done.
nose cone is
75.
closed. Warning, nose cone is closed.
50.
Warning, nose
40.
cone is closed. Warning,
30.
nose cone is closed. Warning, nose cone
20.
is closed. Warning, nose cone is closed.
15.
Warning, nose cone is
10.
closed.
8.
Warning, nose cone is closed.
Sorry about that, guys. It thinks we're docking, but we're not. I just have the frequency there to get to here. Saving.
Off.
Yeah, there's 7.2. That's the gold moon. The silver moon is not up yet. Very nice. First moonrise. Okay, so at this point, we can turn the APU off. And we do our stay no stay checklist. We have 4,726 kilograms. If I take a look at the ship mass currently right now, we're showing 10.9 kilometers per second left. And I need about 10.5. So we are good to go. The decision is stay. So at this point, we now go back to our mission overview and consult the next item in the checklist here. Set up the refueling package and demonstrate refueling. Okay, so at this point we can turn our HUDs off. And I want to now figure out what the conditions are outside. So as expected, 0.47 bar. That is very safe without a pressure suit. We will not need a pressure suit. We will need oxygen to breathe though, so we have to go out with an oxygen mask. It is 275 degrees Kelvin. That is 1.8 Celsius, 35.3 Fahrenheit. It's a little bit chilly. Definitely go out with a wetsuit. Actually, no, a dry suit. At that kind of temperature, you want a dry suit. The ocean temperature is about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And our coolant temperature is about to alarm. We're at 75 degrees. So let's start pumping in some of that cool ocean water. We turn on the external cooling. We're going to insert a water scoop down into the ocean and start sucking that water through to cool us off.
Using external O2. External cooling online.
Okay, and our coolant temperature is dropping. So we are now safe for 23 days. I'm also going to continue safing, so we have AF control off, RCS off, all HUDs off, temperature display in degrees Fahrenheit to monitor weather, multifunctional displays we are now finished with. Lights all off. Our mission elapsed timer can finally be reset.
Mission elapsed time reset.
Yay. Okay. All lights are off. Cabin hatch. We want to keep that closed. It is not safe. What I can do is open up the nose cone at this point. And the bay doors. And the last thing I want to do is see if we can open the outer door, or if we have to evacuate it.
Warning. Decompression danger. Outer door is locked.
Okay, so that means we're going to have to evacuate the airlock some in order to get people outside. Okay, we have about 40 minutes until sunset, so we should have just enough time to set up the life support system here. So we're going to deploy this rack to the ocean, and it's going to float around, and then we will it's going to float next to the ship. We'll hop out.
Payload deployed.
Okay, so that is now floating in the ocean. So now it is time for us to get out of here. So we'll evacuate the airlock.
Airlock depressurizing. Airlock pressure 0 psi.
Alright, and we can open the outer door at this point. Alright, Mobile will do the honors.
Egress successful.
Mobile is in the ocean. Alright, so this will be taking the cargoes out. And then we are going to... Where are they? They're over there. Start unpacking things. And we want to attach these to the float here so that nothing floats off, right? But you know what I just realized? Whoa, what? Not sure what happened there because I debug tested everything.
Unpacking cargo.
Alright, so one of these is the compressor and the other one is the electrolyzer. So to the electrolyzer, we need to attach the tanks.
Unpacking cargo.
Actually, it's technically the compressor that we need to attach it to. Got that stuff squared away. Okay, checking up on things now for the life support cycle. Ocean water will be electrolyzed using an electrolyzer. That's what this thing is. And then compressed with a compressor. That's what this thing is. To produce hydrogen, which will be stored in this tank, and oxygen, which will be stored in this tank. The hydrogen will then be pumped in to the ship to use as remass for the nuclear rocket. The oxygen will be pumped in for breathing, as well as the scramjet fuel. Alright, and then drinking water and coolant water will be extracted from the clear ocean water, which we are already doing. The power source is the ship's main reactor, and then eventually we're going to get a solar farm set up. Waste will be saved for farming or waded to the abyss. And I think that's what I was trying to say before the bug happened. We're floating above probably 50 miles or more of ocean. We're going to figure this out a little later, as we have some more time. But in the meantime, the following critical infrastructure upon landing: the transponder probe that is sitting right here. You know what, let's move that before it gets dark so that everything is together. Not supposed to pass under the ship because it's floating. Alright, can I pick this thing up? I guess it's a vessel, so I can't move it, but that's fine. It's not going to go anywhere. So the transponder probe is here. Machines package 1 is unpacked. And the hydrogen and oxygen tanks are here. So, guys, guess what? I am declaring a success for our attempt to set up the life support system. Let us demonstrate by doing a quick test to get some fuel and oxygen.
Locks hatch open. Fuel hatch open. Locks resupply system. Refueling systems online.
Ah, yes. Okay, all tanks have been tested successfully.
Refueling systems offline. Locks resupply systems offline.
This means that we are now sufficient for everything but food. I've been Dr. Aeronautics. Thank you guys for joining me. And I will see you guys next time for the ascent back up to the mothership Space Viking. Bye-bye.